Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode of In the Cup. We are back in studio, meaning
Yes.
our office spaces. But we hope you guys enjoyed last week's on-course episode. We, again, had a lot of fun filming it. We learned a lot about the recording and editing process. That's why it took a little longer for us to release that episode. But I thought it came together pretty nicely. And we
Yeah,
have to do more of them.
we do. We
Yeah.
do. But I loved your solo, golf with me over on your Twilight round. Like, that was so cute.
Oh, yeah. I got lucky because the one kid that I was playing with was graduating from college and I felt so old. He's like, yeah, my graduation is tomorrow. I'm like, damn.
Oh my God.
I am old. And his brother was playing with us, and his brother was 2 years younger. So him and his girlfriend who were playing with us were in high school, but they had to bow out of the back nine to go to like family dinners and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm going to continue on because this is the first time I've played in a true solo round at Torrey. Although I need to work on my camera skills because my phone kept falling over, as you will all see if you watch the clips. It was nice to be out there on a Friday twilight round by myself, just me and my swing thoughts, my intrusive,
your intrusive swing thoughts. That's kind of, I was going to say that sounds like an ideal night, but that also sounds kind of dangerous.
Yeah, but I actually played 2 rounds, and I think I paid for it after because my shoulder still kind of hurts.
Oh, God.
Again, getting old, but
Yeah.
and we're both sick. So
Yeah.
the summer changing of the seasons has hit us both, and we both have a busy Junes coming up, so that should be interesting. So bear with us through this episode. But how was your weekend otherwise, other than all of the sicknesses?
I know. It was good. I had family in town, so my brother, sister-in-law, and my niece were in town, so I had a little baby around for about a week, which probably contributes to the germs. But we went to the USA men's soccer game yesterday. They were in Charlotte, and so they played against Senegal, which they're actually a really good team, which I didn't realize. But it was like a pre-World Cup game. So it was really, really fun to go with some friends and cheer on the soccer team and not pay an arm and a leg to go to a stadium.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the World Cup on another episode because it's coming up in a couple weeks. But yeah, the ticket prices have been insane, but also with all of the world happenings, teams having issues coming in, it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out because hotels are reporting that the sales aren't what they thought they were going to be, probably because of all the dramatics and all of that. Is Team USA, are their main pool matches in Jersey? Is that where they're playing?
Yeah, I think it's mainly Jersey. I want to say maybe Philly or Atlanta, but I think it's mostly New Jersey. But it's so crazy. I mean, the schedule is still very confusing to me because there's so many different locations. Obviously, there's a ton of different teams, but all the different locations and timing and all of that. So I don't know. It'll be really fun to watch. But I mean, obviously, a New York girly, and the fact that it's like $20,000 to get into the stadium, like no wonder your hotel rooms aren't selling out. Nobody can afford to go.
Yeah, I'd rather watch on my couch, nice and comfy, where I can go get snacks whenever I want that also aren't an arm and a leg.
Right, and not have swamp ass. Like,
oh yeah, middle of summer, humid New York City. Yeah. But all over too, because I was seeing some of the stadiums like change over for the World Cup. Yeah. Thinking about Miami, like they're just calling them Atlanta Stadium, Miami Stadium. So I guess all of them are doing that. Yeah, Miami in the middle of July or June, July, not great either. Even Atlanta, anywhere on the eastern seaboard, probably not great.
No.
But I did learn that, so Switzerland and New Zealand, their pool, I guess, is playing in LA, and they chose San Diego as their practice location. So they're staying at hotels in La Jolla and Del Mar, and I think it's New Zealand who's going to use the USD practice facility or the soccer stadium as their practice facility.
Very
So that's kind of cool that we'll maybe get some sightings down here in San Diego. And San Diego's a big location, too, for the Olympics in 2028. There's going to be a ton of matches being played down here in San Diego, so that'll be pretty cool.
Gotcha.
But yeah, lots of soccer haps that
Yes.
we'll probably talk about over the next probably month or so, because the World Cup lasts for
Yeah.
a month,
Yep.
and hopefully we'll figure out the scheduling by then. But that was, cool to see a little preview of
Mhm.
Team USA where you're
Yeah.
not paying
I
$20,000.
know.
I did a lot of adulting things this weekend.
Did you?
First of all, if you have never gotten your couch cleaned, please do. The ASMR of just watching this guy clean my couch. And
Mhm.
obviously, I don't have pets or anything, so it's not like an over soiled couch.
Yeah.
But just a little refresh and just seeing it cleaned up and just seeing the difference
Yeah.
was a type A's dream. But did that. I cleaned out my hallway closet, a lot of boxes
Mhm.
from when I moved 4 years ago of stuff that I wasn't using. So clearing that out, moving it to the garage. So
Mhm.
yeah, had a little bit of a productive weekend, especially since Mama and Papa are coming in a couple of
Yes.
weeks. And although, as us Asians know, the cleanliness of your
Mhm.
home will never be clean enough for your
No.
parents, at least we
No.
have made some efforts so that when they do come
Mhm.
after you for not cleaning your house properly, you can say, at least I tried.
Correct.
So,
Hey, Mom and Dad, please don't spill anything on my couch. I just had it cleaned.
yeah, keep your Coke Zeros to yourself, Ernie.
Yeah.
Watch out for the couch. But yeah, other than that, just watching a lot of
A lot of
tennis,
sports.
a lot of golf. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get to the tennis. But I thought I would do you the pleasure. I'm going to give you a couple of dedicated minutes. Get yourself ready to talk about
Yeah.
part 1 of the Summer House reunion, because it was a lot. And I know we have
It
2 more
was.
episodes coming, but this is your time, Amanda, to air it all
Yes.
out for a couple of minutes for the Bravo folks out there.
Yes. Listen, when you texted me and said, we'll give you some airtime for Summer House, I was like, where do I start?
This could be a whole episode.
The reunion it has been my entire personality. Like, I have watched it now 3 times. I watched it live, and then I watched the uncut extended version, whatever, on Peacock. And I've listened to podcasts about it. The way that Bravo is capitalizing on this situation should be studied. Like, there's a lot of like back and forth of, is this as bad as Scandal with like Vanderpump Rules and that situation? I think Summer House, it's a very niche show compared to a lot of other Bravo shows. So I feel like it doesn't have as big of an audience as like Vanderpump did or any of the Housewives, but
it's
the
become a big
magnitude,
thing now.
yeah, the magnitude and like legs that this has grown. And it's not, yes, it's a lot of it is because of the situation, right? Amanda, who was married to Kyle, they met, dated, got married, and now getting divorced, all in the same show. And yeah, that is heartbreaking to see a marriage fall apart. But this girl is giving Amanda's a bad rep.
Agree.
Right?
The bun alone is cause for absolute annihilation.
You have so much money. She comes from money. She has a trust. She's been on Bravo for 10 years. You can't tell me you don't have a shit ton of money. And when you weren't paying rent and your husband basically Venmo charged you for $120K, 117 to be exact. Like, and you said, no sweat off my back. You just have $117K laying around to just go send your husband, your ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband, this money. Where were you when his business was struggling? Where were you when he picked up DJing because he couldn't pay the bills because you weren't? Kyle is a lot of things, and yes, he messed up more times than I can count, but you kept taking him back. You set that precedent to him. And hot take. All of these girlies have been coming out of the woodwork about West. I used to date West. I slept with West. I text him, blah, 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 blah.
Even live on the show, well, not live, but on the show before when Sarah was like, you had a girlfriend.
Yes. Mija, she slept at your house right before Watch What Happens Live. Also, another show, Southern Charm, one of the girls were talking about how she slept with West and how she told someone else on another show to sleep with him. It's just getting so intertwined. If Kyle really cheated on you this many times that you're saying, how come nobody's coming out of the woodwork?
Yeah.
Not
or leave. if you believe it.
One, leave. You could have left. And again, production, they show you what they want to show you
Yeah.
for the storyline, etc. But through the storyline that we saw, there were multiple girlies that sat Amanda down and talked to her about, are you sure you want to marry him? And
Yeah.
you decided to do it. And you said yes. And then all of these girlies stood by your side, i.e. Sierra. And I'm not even mad at West through this whole situation. Honestly, I'm not shocked.
Because we know he's an F-boy.
We know, exactly. We're not surprised. We knew he was going to do this again. He's just nitpicked and said, ooh, she's vulnerable. Ooh, I could mold her into something. Ooh, she's going through a hard time and needs someone to lean on. Perfect.
Yeah.
You can, and again, like people have said it, like he can climb the social ladder.
Lindsay said it on the show, like,
Yeah.
you're just going to do to Amanda what you've done to Sierra, what you've done to all these other women just to get a leg up, to get that clout, and then you'll drop them once they don't serve your purpose anymore.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a
So
great call out.
Yeah, it is. And it's sad. It's sad that Amanda has such little self-worth that she feels like she has to put herself on that low of a pedestal. But at the end of the day, you made your decision. And like, yes, her whole comment on the reunion of you can't help who you love and you can't help who you have feelings for. You
could have handled
you can handle it differently.
And you could have handled it differently. One, like girl code, you shouldn't have gone down that road anyways. But two, you admittedly said you lied in that text chain that Sierra was going over on the reunion. She lied and she admitted it. So one, you shouldn't have lied. You should have just been honest from the get-go. And two, you should have never gone down that road in the first place. And I think that's the whole plot. I think as a newbie to this whole Summer House thing and an outsider, I think that's the whole plot that Amanda is missing. And I think the difference between this and Sandoval is that Ariana and what's-her-face, they were never friends like Sierra and Amanda were. Like, Sierra was there for Amanda through all this stuff and vice versa, supposedly. So I think that's the big difference. Like, there's normal girl code. The whole Sandoval thing was mainly because of the show, right? They were associated on the show. But Amanda and Sierra were actually friends on show and off show. So I think this one, that's why this one stings more. And that's why people are more outraged, I guess, by this one.
Yeah, she's just showing her true colors. Yeah. I mean, like, now you go back and if you rewatch clips and, you know, things, she's kind of always been like this. I've never been a huge Amanda fan. I've been more of a Kyle fan than an Amanda fan. Wes, I was never like, oh my God, he's the best person to be in the house. I think he's been a great castmate because he adds a great storyline, but
not a great person.
You're not a good person. Like,
I don't get the lure. Why do all these women like him? First of all, new ick unlocked, all of the things he was doing with his mouth during the reunion, like the lips and all of that. I was like, ew.
What were those boots he was wearing?
I don't know. But like, if I had never seen an episode of Summer House and this was the first time I watched it, I would immediately turned off. Like, I don't see what anyone sees in this man, especially now knowing all of the other stuff. But
agreed. I know. And that was my short synopsis.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens on part 2. We can rehash that one. Apparently there's other things. I asked Amanda earlier, I was like, besides this whole scandal, what else, like, what are they going to take up the next 2 episodes with? But apparently there is a lot. So we will learn some. I'll probably end up watching it just because. But yeah, even I went down a rabbit hole. It's been popping up on my social media. Some girl did an Instagram thing just on the bun, the history of her bun. Apparently it goes back through the seasons. So, but again,
she's
like you said, get a stylist, girl. Although her dress was pretty on the reunion, but
it was, but
compared to Sierra and Lindsay,
Sierra wore basically that same dress 2 years ago.
Oh, really? On the reunion or somewhere else?
And the reunion, just a different color.
Interesting. Well, either way, she looked amazing. Well, we will reconvene on the Summer House topic next week. But
Yes,
I see, Amanda, you are wearing your New York Knicks hat.
I sure
We
am.
have the stage set for the NBA Finals. It'll be the Knicks versus the San Antonio Spurs. It's a rematch of the
Yes.
1999 Finals, which was not a great result for the Knicks. They did not win that
Nope.
year. And it was also the last year that they appeared in a Finals. So for Knicks fans,
It's
it's
big.
been a long awaited time to see
Yeah,
their team back in the finals. But who is going to go to this finals? Because tickets are
I
starting at
know.
$250,000,
I
which
know.
again is insane. If you're like a diehard Knicks fan who has loved
Hmm.
them since forever, and you're just, you've been hanging out in your house watching the Knicks,
Yeah.
loyal, and you can't even come close to getting a ticket. Like
No.
I don't see how that's good for New York sports
No.
fans.
Well, also, yesterday, I mean, my husband's been a Knicks fan for forever. I've been a Knicks fan. My husband literally asked his mother, like, do you have maybe 50K laying around? And she's like,
Just in a little nest egg
not for
somewhere.
you to spend it on a ticket for a basketball game. But no, the tickets are insane. I do appreciate that there's been a number of tickets that are going to be donated to
Hmm.
underprivileged kids. I'm going to be up there for game 3 and 4, which is going
Go
to
to the
be
watch party.
insane. I'm definitely going to be at the watch party. My husband's coming up for game 3. We're going to be out in the wild for it.
Oh gosh, you have to report back.
So, yes, I will report back. It's huge for New York. I mean, they're
Yeah.
painting the subway entrances orange and blue. We haven't come this close in almost 30 years.
And they look good. They look like
Good.
they haven't lost a game since April 23rd. You know what
Correct.
happened on April 23rd? Fernando Mendoza was drafted number 1 in the NFL draft on April 23rd. That's how
Yep.
long it's been since the Knicks have lost a game. And
Yep.
I know they're going to have a little bit of a break. They'll probably have a week and a half by the time this game starts. So some people say that long of a break, you get a little rusty, but they look good, man.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
They look. I am glad. Like this whole game with with Spurs and OKC was honestly ideal situation in my opinion. That the fact that they went to game 7 give our
Yeah.
guys more time to rest, more
Hmm.
time to chill. Their first 2 games are going to be on the road. Let them be at home with their family. Soak it all up in New
Hmm.
York because you are all kings for
Yep.
the whole
Kings in New
city.
York. Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, even yesterday, obviously, like, Chad was wearing a Knicks hat when we were at a soccer game, and he just, like, dapped some people up that he saw, and they were like, let's go Knicks. We got
Yeah.
this. Knicks in 4,
Everyone's
Knicks in 5.
united.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
And obviously I'm a Lakers fan, but as a Lakers fan, I've never liked the Spurs because of that whole
yeah,
competition through, late 1990s, which seems so long ago, and early
it
2000s.
is.
But it's going to be a great series, and hopefully
Yeah.
that 7-game series tired the Spurs out a little bit. But the best part about this is that I don't have to watch another Oklahoma
I
City Thunder
know.
game this
Woo.
season because it was getting unbearable. Although I will say games 5, 6, and 7 were better. I don't
They
know
were.
if like Shea and others like toned back because Shea is a great player, top 10 player in the league right now, 2-time MVP. He's a great player, and I never saw the reason for the theatrics. Yes.
Right.
It's an NBA problem. There's no accountability
Yes.
on the refs, on the players, anything. So he found a way to essentially game the system. But why? You're a generational talent. Just use the talent, play the game. I don't understand why we have to do all of these extras. And I think that's the biggest thing. And if I was Shay and I was seeing all these things in the media about me being a flopper and, this legacy I'm leaving, teaching the youth of America how to play the game the wrong way, like that would bug me because I
Yes.
know that I'm a good player, but everyone
Mhm.
has this other narrative of me of being, a whatever player because of
Yeah.
all of these other extra things. And that would bother the hell out of me if people were saying that about me.
100%. Well, and I think it's, again, I'm biased, but I look at Jalen Brunson,
Hmm.
and he is a great role model for
Yeah.
kids, right? Like he gives back. He plays well. He doesn't talk back. He's not a super animated player. And we haven't talked about this in the past, but I feel like as a professional sports player, whether it's NBA, golf, soccer, tennis, you were at a stature where people are looking up to you.
Yeah.
You have kids looking up to you. You have generations looking up to you. Put your right foot forward. Like,
Yeah.
don't be a jerk and play the game the right way. Like, it's
Mhm.
clearly not helping.
No. More people have been talking about the flopping thing than the actual play,
Or your
his
stats.
play or the play
Right.
of the team. Like, that's all
Exactly.
people have been talking about. So, yeah, I agree. Like, just, again, generational talents. You guys have the skills to just play the game the right way. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the opposite of Steph Curry because people are criticizing, like, the way Steph plays because now everyone thinks that they can go out and shoot, like, a half-court three. But in a way, that's not. It is a little bit negative because everyone's just starting to shoot threes now and kind of losing the other fundamentals of the game. But I wouldn't say that that's as bad as flopping. Like, flopping's just bad
No.
for the game all
No,
around.
because also Steph can make some crazy shots.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's how many NBA players can go out there and hit all the same shots that Steph does from the
Not
same
very
angle?
many.
Not very many. So, like, if anything, it's maybe telling them like, "Oh yeah, go try and shoot a three." But it's almost like in order to get there, you also have to practice. Bro, do
Yeah.
you just practice flopping? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do to get better at flopping on the court?
Yeah, somebody said that. I forget which analyst it was, but it was a panel of them. And one of them alluded to the fact that kids are going to go out and start practicing their flopping. And Jay Williams, former Duke player, played in the NBA for a couple
Yeah.
years, got injured. He was on that. He's a broadcaster now. He was part of that. And he just walked off because he was like, this is just asinine that people are talking about this. And again, I hope that kids realize that that's not how the game should be played, but we'll see because we probably won't see the ramifications of the flopping, and
No.
hopefully next season the NBA does something about it, like a little
I'm
bit
sure.
more accountability all around. So,
Yeah.
but go Knicks! Game 1 is on
Friday.
Wednesday. By the time
When?
this airs, Game 1 it's
It is
June 3rd.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time this airs, Game 1 will be airing, but
Yes.
Amanda will report back from all of the happenings in New York City
I
after
sure
she
will.
goes. Yeah.
Yes. Next week I'll be recording from New York, so I
Ooh.
will be coming live with
shots
updates.
from New York. Yeah. Well, the other thing that took up an astronomical amount of time for me this past week was the French Open. And can we just talk about the carnage of week 1? There are so many storylines. I don't even know if we can cover them all, but we already knew that Alcaraz was going to be out because of injury. He's going to be out for Wimbledon too. He already announced it. So Jannik Sinner, favorite going in. This dude goes out second round. He was, I think, 1 game away from winning the match, and the heat just took over. I think he threw up mid-round.
Yeah.
And then he ended up losing in 5. So Sinner was out. So that opens the door for a lot of other people. But you know who else is out? Medvedev, Fritz, Tommy Paul, Ben Shelton, Novak Djokovic, Alex de Minaur, Rublev, Rude. Like, all of the top players are out. There's only one American left, Francis Tiafoe. So we'll see what happens. But all of the big names are out. And I went down a rabbit hole. I joined. So Andy Roddick has a podcast called Served, and he has like a chat on Substack. So of course I went and participated, went down this rabbit hole. But I'll say, I obviously I love watching Sinner and Alcaraz and the competition and the competitiveness that they bring to their matches in any tournament that they're in. But I will say this is fun. This has been fun to watch, to see how of the rest of the savanna animals react in the ecosystem when the lions aren't playing. Like, it's been really cool to watch, and the level of play is still really high. I don't know if you've been able to catch any matches, but it's been wild.
No, well, yesterday I was watching golf. Was it yesterday? Saturday? One of the days this weekend, I was watching golf, and I texted you, I was like, this is kind of boring. And so we put on tennis, and I was like, we'll see. Again, the heavy hitters aren't here.
Mhm.
I don't even know who the heck is playing. And it was actually it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Not only just from the matches, but there was obviously some drama.
Mhm.
And then just hearing and seeing people that you'd never really hear of. And I feel like the stands were so empty. I don't know if you
I thought
noticed
so
that.
too. And I don't know if I think when you were watching, that was the day that PSG was playing the Champions League final. So I don't know if
Yep.
people were not watching because of that.
Yeah,
And you heard it throughout when PSG won, you heard people out there
that's true.
screaming the fireworks. So I don't know if that
Hmm.
was part of it. But a lot of these matches have been going to 5 sets too.
Yeah,
I think the one on Saturday ended at 1 a.m. So I don't
wild.
know.
It's good tennis. I mean, let these newbies show their stuff. I mean, I guess they are kind of newbies compared to the OGs, but
Mhm.
let you give them their flowers. Hopefully Tiafo pulls it off.
Oh, we can only hope. Out of all of the Americans, and I'm sorry,
I
Francis, you are a
know.
good player. And Francis is very popular amongst other athletes, especially
Yeah.
NBA players. But I'll say the star power that he brings to his matches, just the results haven't been there for him. And I know he's been
Yeah.
putting in a lot of extra work in, being able to last these 5 set matches, which he did the other night. He came back and won in a 5 set. But yeah. If I had to pick an American to bring us through and win a major, first time since Andy Roddick
Yeah.
won the last American major in 2003, my God.
Mhm.
Tiafoe wouldn't be my first choice, but
No.
hey,
Listen,
let's hope he does it.
I couldn't get past his chain that says Big Foe.
Big foe. Yeah,
I'm like,
I
bro,
know. He's really leaned into the big foe thing. And that's what I mean. There's a lot of he's brought a lot of attention
there's
to
a lot of
tennis.
energy around it. And I'm
Yeah, a
here
lot
for
of
it.
energy, but the results at some point have to back it up, my guy.
Come on,
He
Big
was,
Foe. You got this.
I think at one point he cracked the top 10. I think he's maybe 18 or 19 ranked right now.
Okay.
We'll always root for any American, but
Yes.
again, a Tommy Paul or a Fritz might have
Yeah.
been
Would have been great
a
to see.
better Ben Shelton. I was very upset about that loss. But yeah, we're going to have the first time major winner on the men's side this year. And Zverev and Berrettini are the only ones left to have actually even played in a major final. So, like I said, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
On the women's side, things were a little bit more intact until yesterday. Coco's out, Anasimova's out, Iga's out, Jessie went out the first round. Jovic is out. Maddie just went out today. So it's wild on the women's side too. Sabalenka and Naomi Osaka are playing the first women's night match in the last few years. So apparently, I didn't know this, but so obviously we see the night matches at the U.S. Open that go till late. Apparently Roland Garros didn't have night matches until 5 years ago. They only have one compared to the U.S. Open in Australia that have 2 night matches.
Okay.
But they only have one. And the big story has been they haven't scheduled women's night matches because the women only play 3 sets compared to the men's 5. So they're saying that the viewers won't get, or the attendees won't get their bang for their buck because the women's matches could be over in an hour compared to a men's match that could go 5 hours. So that's one of the reasons why. So when Osaka and Sabalenka got scheduled for this night match today, it was a huge deal, which is the contradiction is very interesting to me because Amelie Mauresmo, she's a big French player. She's a tournament director, obviously female. There's this controversy about the women's matches not being scheduled at night. But then on the flip side, this player, Danny Vallejo, got fined 65,000 euro because of a comment he made about a female referee. So he was playing against this French teenager. Obviously, they're playing in Paris. So the French crowd is always going to get behind the French player. And the crowds got loud, cheering for this French player, etc. So it got kind of out of hand at certain points. And this dude, who lost, by the way, came out and said a female shouldn't referee these types of matches because they can't control the crowds. And I've watched plenty of matches, especially majors. Even a New York crowd, you cannot contain when they get loud and rowdy and
Mm-mm.
they're cheering for someone. So they find this guy for making
Good.
misogynistic, sexist remarks, but yet they're not scheduling women. So it's just weird to like the
Yeah.
contradiction is there, and it doesn't make sense to me. And
No,
hopefully
I'm
they'll
with
fix
you.
it. But yeah, that's just one of the things that kind of stood out to me when all this chatter was happening. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, especially when it comes
No.
to a topic like this. So,
No. Yeah, I mean, I saw live, like, the bickering between him and the ref,
mhm,
um, and the ref dealt with it. I think she dealt with it fine. Like, the
yeah,
fact like, 1, you have all eyes on you. You
mhm,
have cameras around, you have microphones around. Like, the guy was a real jerk. End of story. But no, I agree. Like, okay, so you don't want to schedule a women's night match because you want people to get a bang for their buck? Okay,
yeah,
charge $100 instead of 150. Like, people are still going to go. I would pay specifically just to go see women's at night. Like,
yeah,
that can be marketed
yeah.
so well.
Or you can schedule 2 women's matches
Right.
to make up for or you can schedule women's and then schedule a doubles.
Yeah.
Like they did that at Indian Wells the year that I went. They scheduled a doubles right after the Alcaraz match.
Like, there's ways about
Yeah.
making it work.
Mhm.
So I'm with you. Yes, you fined him and he should have been fined.
Yeah.
And that is well deserved. But then you're gonna make this comment about like how they're not gonna make enough. It's probably because they're not gonna make enough money. Honestly,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
it comes
league.
down always
It's
comes down to money. Yeah.
yeah, it's not for your fan experience. It's because
Mhm.
you don't want to open up the concessions and, pay the workers and have the stores open for people to go and buy merch when you may not have as much of a turnout.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know how I also know it's about money is because in a couple of the women's matches, 2 women's players tripped. They have these Lacoste signs at the back of the courts, and 2 players tripped over. One had to, I think she retired, or I think she might have retired after she tripped over the sign because she hurt herself, but they still kept the signs there. Lacoste is the sponsor of
Yeah.
Roland Garros, all of the ball kids and whatever have it's all their gear. But for the safety of the players, if you're really worried about the players, move the signs. Like we all
Move the
know
stupid
Lacoste is the
sign.
sponsor. Move the alligator. Move
Move
it out of
the
the way.
damn gator. We
Yeah.
don't need the
So
gator on the court.
yeah. So, like we said, at the end of the day, it always comes down to money. But like I said, you
Mhm.
can't, it was the right thing to punish this player. But on the same side, like, have that same energy
Yeah.
for the night matches and for the signs and for everything else. You can't have it
Yeah.
both ways. So,
Do you
that is my
think
thoughts.
Do you think that tennis as a sport is where golf was as a sport with men and women 10 years ago? Like, do you think, because if like, we've talked about how the LPGA, like, they're
Hmm.
definitely making moves. You're hearing more and more about women's golf and all of that. But yes, you've heard about obviously like Coco and the big hitters for tennis.
Hmm.
But it's still, I mean, obviously, prime example of this conversation, they're still, behind in
Hmm.
other sports. So,
Yeah.
I think that maybe that's something that tennis can probably improve upon
Yeah.
in the future.
I think tennis is in a little better position. And I say
Mhm.
that because men and women play at the same events. So you get
Yeah.
exposure to the women at the same tournaments as the men, which you don't get in golf. And I think that was the big thing about the WTGL, where,
Yeah.
like, remember Nelly was coming out and saying they missed an opportunity to have the men and the women play together and kind of
Yeah.
capitalize on that. So I think tennis has the advantage there when it
Mhm.
comes to coverage and when it comes to earnings. Although in tennis, I forget what it was, either the majors or whatnot, they have equaled the playing field when it comes to the purses.
Okay.
So they're a little bit more ahead there. But yeah, I will say, like, when it comes to prize money and coverage
Mhm.
and things like that, they're definitely still behind. I think golf is a little further behind tennis just because I
Yeah.
think, like, I was looking at they showed the air times for the women's US Open this weekend, and the coverage doesn't start until 7 p.m. Eastern every single day. So
Oh my
even though the
God.
men, they're playing a big tournament this weekend, the Memorial, which is huge, like Rory and
Mhm.
Scotty and all those guys will be back. But you're you're talking about a women's major versus kind of just like a regular tournament for the men. And the
Right.
men are still getting a majority of the coverage during the day versus the women. So I think we got a long way to go
We
all the way
do.
around, but we're making some strides. But
Mhm.
yeah.
And do you we went and walked around the mall on Friday because it was raining and just decided to walk around the mall. And we passed by Lacoste and
Yeah.
I literally said, "Who but tennis players are keeping Lacoste in business?" I don't
Europeans,
Yes.
not Americans. Europeans are
No.
keeping Lacoste in business.
Like, remember, I feel like that was all like you were cool if you had a Lacoste t-shirt or a Lacoste polo when you were,
Mhm.
I think it was like middle school, high school. Now,
Yeah. I actually love Lacoste. It's
yeah, I don't.
expensive though, so it's like kind of up there with what was the other? I can't think of it right now. Sick brain. But
Mhm.
there's another company out there that we were talking about. But yeah, I think yes, a lot of more Europeans wear
Yeah.
Lacoste than it's like United Colors of Benetton. Who's keeping
Yeah.
that company open? It's
Right.
Europeans
Yeah.
and Asians. But yeah,
Fair.
Lacoste is not as big here in the
Mm-mm.
United States. I equate Lacoste to like a Ralph Lauren
Yeah.
type product.
That's a good comp.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I like a clean polo, we like the clean
Yeah.
looks. I
Oh,
like it.
yeah.
They just need to move the damn alligator sign off the court. Like,
Correct.
make it safe for the players. But the biggest story this week is whether the GOAT, Serena Williams, would be coming back for the grass season.
Mhm.
And she stirred up the rumor mill when she went back into the drug protocol at the end of last year. So everyone was like, why would you go back into drug protocol if you aren't
Mhm.
playing? So that kind of stirred things up. And then this week, the rumors got bigger because there were rumors that she was getting a wild card to Queens, which is the warm up to Wimbledon. She had a rumored doubles partner. So, anyways, it was confirmed today. She's
Mhm.
coming back. She's playing doubles. Her partner is going to be Victoria Mboko from Canada. So, they're going to be playing doubles at Queens. And she's probably going to get the wild card to Wimbledon, too. I mean,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
only natural next step from here. So,
Yeah.
we're going to be getting the GOAT back, and I don't think there's anyone who's upset about it. I mean,
No.
kind of like Tiger when Serena's in the conversation for tennis.
Mhm.
And maybe we'll get a Serena Venus doubles at Wimbledon, because that would be kind of cool to see that.
I feel like she had to have signed some sort of contract with Netflix, ESPN. They're probably going to
Something,
do some
yeah.
sort of docuseries on it.
Yeah.
Like, came out of retirement for this and kind of what she does over the next couple months. It'll be a really, really, really cool thing to follow.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And her announcement was even like super simple. It was like her picking up the phone and it said like you might have heard, and that was it. Like
Yeah,
that's all she needs to do. She
that's it.
doesn't need to do anything more. I'm back.
I'm
Okay,
back.
bye.
Hey,
Mic drop. See you
yeah,
later. See ya at Wimbledon.
yeah.
Yeah. So wild weekend tennis. We're into week 2 at
Mm-hmm.
Roland Garros, and it's probably going to be even more bananas. But I'm excited to see who comes out with that trophy at the end. Well, now we can finally get to golf,
Yes.
which was also kind of
Crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the NCAA women's tournament that happened last week. I think it's like 6 days long because they
Yeah.
play stroke play for the individual winner and then they play match play. But Stanford won the national championship over USC. Stanford and USC were 1 and 2 all year. Stanford also has 3 players that are going to be playing in the Women's US Open this week. Mega Gane, Paula Martin San Pedro, and Meha Ortegan, who are going to be playing this week. So that's pretty cool for them. And they're calling them a dynasty at this point because they won this year. They won in 24. They won in 22. And I think they won in 2016, 17. But this is their 4th win as a team.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was kind of cool to see. Like, I've always been a supporter of playing in college, right? I've
Mhm.
said that about college basketball. But just seeing them in this match play and seeing kind of
Mhm.
the team dynamic and them kind of soaking up the college experience, the seniors getting emotional because it's their last, competition with the team. It's something that you don't see in golf because it's an individual sport, right? In pros, we don't see it outside of President's Cup, Ryder Cup, Solheim Cup, but everything else is individual. So it was really cool to see the team dynamic. And Stanford, they always produce great players. It was actually up here in Carlsbad, which I think next year, like, I have to go check it out. The men's is actually happening this week, but yeah, next year I'll probably have to go check it out. But it was a really cool event to watch, and we had some local girls playing as well. The Leavow twins, who are from
Okay.
Oceanside. I got to see them in like a fun like exhibition tournament with Xander a couple of years ago because Xander is from San Diego. But they played at Long Beach State, but they just transferred to Eastern Michigan last year because
Okay.
they got a new coach. And they made it to the semifinals. They beat, one of
Wow.
them beat Farrah O'Keefe, who's the #1 AM, and they ended up playing Stanford in the semis and lost, obviously. But it was cool to see a couple of local girls go
Yeah.
out there and show their stuff on the national stage. So,
I love that.
yeah. So everyone should watch more college golf if you're into like watching the AMs and stuff too, like at Augusta. For the LPGA, the Shoprite in New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, another French connection.
And also, like, I forget what the other one was, but the last 2 tournaments that were in Jersey were both named after grocery stores.
Was it Kroger?
Yeah.
Was the other one?
Something. It was like, yeah, Kroger and Shoprite. Like,
Yeah.
why are the 2 grocery stores the 2 big spot? Like,
well, when we're talking about women's sports and exposure, not to say grocery chain sponsorship is bad, but like you don't have the American Express and the Century and all of the, the big names like that.
But also, is that kind of sexist that they have the women's being
Didn't think of that.
sponsored by grocery stores? Like, listen, I love a ShopRite. I love going to a ShopRite, but like,
is that a Northeast thing? I don't even think I've seen a ShopRite ever.
Yeah, it's like New York, New Jersey.
Okay, because I haven't seen one in Massachusetts.
No, and
I never even thought about that.
Like, and listen, they don't need like crazy big sponsors, but like Tampax.
Yeah.
I don't know, like.
Yeah, wild. I never put the 2 together, but I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole and look at all the sponsors now. Evian is not a grocery store chain.
No.
But yeah, I'm definitely, after this, I'm gonna look at all the sponsors now because now you have piqued my interest. But the winner, Celine Boutier from France, and people need to like think before they put things on social media or whatever. But I was looking at one of the posts from someone who posted about Celine's win, and someone posted, "Why are all the Asians not winning?" And Celine is Thai, so she is Asian, but she lives or grew up in France. So her ethnicity is Thai, but her nationality is French. And I just wish people would think 5 extra seconds before they post things. But yeah. But anyways, this is her 7th LPGA Tour win. This is her 2nd time she's actually won at the ShopRite. And she takes home,
Does she get
300,000 K. Yeah, reusable bags. But she was actually behind on Sunday. She birdied 3 in a row to tie the lead, and this is her first win since she won the Evian Championship in her home country of France back in 2023. But an interesting story that I saw this morning. So remember we were talking about Garrick Higo a couple weeks ago at the PGA Championship. He missed his tee time because he was a second late, which is technically on time compared to, in his mind, the big Rolex watch says otherwise. But Arpachaya U-Ball was assessed a 1-stroke penalty on Friday for slow play, which is plaguing both men and women's. But so she got this 1-stroke penalty. She ended up losing yesterday by 1 stroke. So it's crazy how these penalties, like we were talking about Garrick, who missed the cut at the PGA Championship, which he would have made if he didn't get assessed that 2-stroke penalty. But
Yeah.
I thought it was just interesting and unfortunate. But let's pick up the pace, people. The one
Yes.
thing that men and women can agree on in this sport is the pace of play. Don't play
Mhm.
slow.
Do
I
not
love
play
a good ready
slow.
golf. Yeah.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
Period.
I love the ready golf tangent, but the
Mhm.
one thing that confuses me is when you get up to the green and when someone is like prepping their putt and they're doing the practice swings and stuff like near their ball and I'm away, but you're practicing. But does that mean like you're ready? Like, should I let you go? Like, that's the part that confuses me. Like, if you're in the
Yeah.
fairway and you're hitting, but you're like on opposite sides, that's fine. The green is where it confuses me when
Mhm.
people do that. It's just a me thing. So again, I'm all for ready golf,
Mhm.
but that's the one part that confuses me
Yeah.
when I play with people. And then, but I don't want to like offend anyone. I don't want to
Right.
go before someone. So yeah. Anyways, so that's a recap of the LPGA from this weekend. The PGA you already alluded to, the
Mhm.
Colonial, Charles Schwab at Colonial. The winner was Russell Henley, and it was a little boring, I will
Mhm.
say. A lot of the big names were not there this weekend, which is interesting to me because I was saying the Colonial is one of those staples on the tour. They're the longest standing tournament at the same location other than at the majors. They've been
Mhm.
playing at Colonial for forever. Ben Hogan has won there 5 times. They call it Hogan's Alley. So it seems like one of
Oh
those
wow.
tournaments that people will want to play, and we'll get to the scheduling later, but when people are trying to balance their schedules and their playing loads, I guess this was one of the ones that they thought they could chop from the schedule.
Yeah.
But it was a little boring, I will say, the first few days. But then Sunday was spicy because it went
Mhm.
into a playoff. Eric Cole, who was going for his first PGA Tour win, he was leading Saturday into Sunday. And he had the lead up until the very last hole. He really only needed to birdie one of those last like 6 holes to
Yeah.
give himself a little bit more space. But Russell Henley birdied the last 3 holes of his round to take it into a playoff, and then he birdied the first playoff hole
That's
and
crazy.
won. So,
Wow.
yeah, never
Wow.
give up, guys. Never
Nope.
give up.
Nope.
And
I
yeah,
when I saw Eric Cole is his name.
Eric Cole, yeah.
Yeah, when I saw him play, the distracting thing that I had was he's sponsored by the MLB. Like,
Yeah, so it's Cam Young.
yeah, I was like, oh wait, I know Cam Young is, and I think there's someone else, but I'm
Mhm.
like, I guess it just never hit me of
The
the
big MLB
MLB.
logo.
I guess because I don't really ever
Sponsoring.
pay attention to like
Yeah.
him. But I mean, Cam Young, I don't know why I haven't noticed it, but how MLB sponsors a PGA Tour player.
Yeah.
Like,
They
what
were
comes in
talking
that
about
sponsorship? For like, yeah, a baseball cap, like they can't give you merch. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
walk
I don't
around
know.
with like an MLB sneakers. Like I don't know.
Yeah, they were talking about this when Cam Young was playing one of the tournaments a few weeks ago. I'll
Hmm.
have to go back and look at how that all works. But yeah, it did come up and I forget exactly how it works, but we'll take that one back.
Yeah.
But also distracting his big ass PXG hat. And
The
it would
brands,
have been a
man.
great it would have been a great weekend for PXG because Celine is also sponsored by
Hmm.
PXG. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great thing for them.
Yeah.
And then Eric ended up losing, which sucks because he was right there. It would have been his first win. It was his mom's birthday. It would have been a whole
Yeah.
big thing. But that just shows like how tough golf is and how you have to be on your game for a whole 4 days where I get sick
Hmm.
after playing 2 rounds in a weekend. But congrats to Russell Henley, who apparently
Hmm.
also has a huge family. He has like 4 kids who ran up like after the thing. Not that it's a bad thing, but
No,
I don't know why I didn't think of it, but it was just
he's
like
like
cool to see like his whole bunch come up
he's like
after.
that football player. What's his name? That quarterback that has all
Uh,
the kids that came back last year for one. We talked about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I know. Philip, God, he played for the Chargers too.
Yes,
Sick
him.
brain. Yes.
Yeah,
The
him.
one who has 10, who's a grandfather. Philip Rivers.
Yes,
Philip
yes.
Rivers. Wow, that took a lot longer than it should have. But
Whew.
yeah, Philip Rivers is a grandfather.
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah. So congrats to Russell Henley, and hopefully Eric Cole will just use the momentum. I've seen him play in the fall series,
Mhm.
So I know the name. Hopefully he'll get close to or he'll get his first win soon coming
Yeah.
off of this. He'll just take some notes and do better
Mhm.
next time. But big news today about and over the weekend about the PGA Tour schedule for next season. A bunch of shifts, mainly in the first part of the schedule. But what we speculated a couple weeks ago, the Century officially announced their sponsorship of the Torrey Pines tournament.
Mhm.
So that will be the same weekend, January 27th. So my guess is that they're going to start with the American Express in Palm Springs, then go to Torrey.
Mhm.
Then we have the February Phoenix Pebble Beach. They switched. So Phoenix is still going to be the weekend of the Super Bowl, and Pebble Beach is moving a week earlier. It's probably still going to be shitty weather, but
Yep.
they're also hosting the U.S. Open next year. So I think they're
Okay.
trying to space out between the Super Bowl and the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
The Cadillac Championship, which is the one in Miami, is moving earlier to avoid the Grand Prix.
Okay.
Shocking. Nobody thought of
Yeah.
that one before. The Truist, which we went to, is going to be
Yes.
pushed a week later. Same with the PGA Championship a week later, which
Okay.
will be interesting. It's all hot during this
Yeah.
time of year in Florida and Texas, but the Valspar is moving from March to May. So it's going to be sweltering at that snake pit in May. The snakes are going to be snaking.
Gross.
Yeah, so a few shakeups at the beginning of the season, and then they're talking. We'll have to dig into this more, but for 2028, they're talking about these two different tracks: track 1, track 2. Like track 1 will be like the elevated ones,
Yeah.
and then track 2 will be like the. Imagine being a sponsor of a track 2 tournament. Like
No.
that would not
Yeah.
excite me. But
No.
anyways,
No, but
so
that's why we have Corn Ferry. That's why we have these other
yeah.
tours.
And that's what they were
But
talking about. Like, they don't know what the downstream effects are going to be for, like, the Corn Ferry and other tours that are kind of the entry into the PGA. So,
yeah.
more to come on that. But at least we know. And I already booked my hotel for the Amex next year. So, I'm glad it's staying the week that it is because
Yes.
we going. Love desert golf.
Mhm.
And it's crazy to think about January of next year, but it's already June. So here we are. But coming up this week, Women's U.S. Open at Riv, which we've talked about.
Mhm.
I'll be there on Saturday. It's only the second time a U.S. Open has been played in Southern California. The other time was at San Diego Country Club. I think this is the first LPGA event at Riviera, which
Cool.
is crazy. But again, when we're talking about women's golf, like I think it's only been recent years. Like they only recently played Pebble, I think like 2
Yeah.
years ago. So the LPGA is starting to be able to host tournaments on some of these bigger, well-known courses. We've talked about this. Michelle Wee West is playing. She's using her last year of exemption to play,
Mhm.
which typically is 10 years. She won the 2014 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, but she got an extra 2 years for maternity leave. So that's why it's 12 years.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. And I've seen a bunch of promotions already for it.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw me share the TaylorMade and the Callaway
Yeah.
bags for the tournament. TaylorMade, way better. But they
Yes.
have like this old Hollywood. It's pink and green, kind of like a Palm Springsy vibe, but
Mhm.
like Hollywood Hills, old Hollywood, sunglasses, martini. And then Callaway has like a film reel vibe. So it's
Mhm.
like black and orange and dark red and a movie reel. Don't love it as much, but hey, maybe some people do.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot more coming out about the U.S. Open this week. The defending
Mhm.
champion is Maya Stark. And then the Mans will be playing the Memorial Jacks tournament at
Yes.
Muirfield in Ohio. And who was last year's winner? The one and only Scotty Scheffler, defending yet another tournament. So,
Shocking.
frickin' Scotty, man. Just doing Scotty things.
Yep. Here comes Scotty.
Yeah. And for all of those of us who like to be tortured every year, the Masters lottery is now open until June
Yes.
20th. So if you want to self-sabotage and get in
Mhm.
your intrusive feelings about
Mhm.
golf and rejection and
Yeah.
enter the Masters lottery because you'll probably be disappointed like the rest of
Yes.
us have been for many years. And I will end on one more French note that the Monaco Grand Prix is this
Yes.
weekend. Talk
Mhm.
about the most bougie event,
Elite.
probably bougiest event of the year. You have all
Yes.
these celebrities and athletes and movie stars on their yachts in Monaco.
So fun to see.
Yeah. Everyone's going to be walking the paddocks. The wags are going to be in their best outfits. I got to go to Monaco a couple years ago. Obviously, not at the Grand Prix because who can afford it? But the racetrack goes through the city of Monaco. The traffic in Monaco is just bananas to begin with. But imagine it on race weekends.
No.
When you're trying to go through the city with everything blocked out. I don't know what the residents probably leave and rent out their homes for millions of dollars to anyone.
Yes.
So
put me on a yacht.
Yeah, those yachts are amazing. Probably see some Kardashian action because Kim's dating Lewis Hamilton, and Kendall used to date Lewis Hamilton. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I'm ready to see some stars, some outfits, some yachts, and some racing.
Yeah.
Because I like the racing too. So it's going to be another crazy week of golf, of tennis. Amanda's going to report back from New York, which I'm very excited for. If you can get some shots of crowds or whatnot, or decor around the city. Like you said, everything's going to be blue and orange for a little while. When's game 3? Monday or Sunday?
Monday. And then game 4's Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize they were going to be playing away first. But
they're away 2, they're home 2, and then
yeah, it's
I
1,
think
1,
they
1.
alternate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different from. I always get confused with hockey because I think hockey's 2-3-2.
Yeah.
Which is also going on right now, but I have no idea what's happening over on that side.
Yeah. I just know that the Carolina Hurricanes are advancing because it's been a big talk around the Charlotte scene.
Yeah, but they played Raleigh, right? Not Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raleigh,
They're the only professional team from the Carolinas that doesn't play in Charlotte.
Wait, repeat that?
All of the other Carolina professional teams play in Charlotte, except for the Hurricanes. They play in Raleigh.
Yeah. I don't even know where they would fit hockey in Charlotte, to be honest.
Yeah.
But anyways, we can explore that topic at another time. But anyways, people, it's going to be a big week of
Lots of sports.
And if you're into Summer House, part 2 of the reunions on Tuesday, so giddy up. Amanda will be our correspondent for all things Bravo. But yeah, have a great week. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.